Welcome to Ancient Gaming. I'm Zilla,
I'm Tortoise.
and today we are continuing our playthrough of Hades 2, where Tortoise plays and I talk about whatever catches my eye, which is mostly going to be mythology, history, etymology, religion, that nature of thing. So, for those of you who are new here, welcome. And thank you for returning, those of you who have been here before. This is our, eighth stream of Hades 2, I believe. And you can always find all of our streams, all of my streams of ancient games, games with ancient studies content that I then discuss. You can always find all of those here on Twitch for as long as they'll let me leave it up, and then over on my YouTube channel, all of the details are in the frame below. Oh no, my mic isn't working. Hold on. Oh no, it is working, but it's doing the echo thing again. Gosh darn it. Well, we haven't been able to figure out exactly how it does that.
Little baby.
There's currently a blind cat being very silly over where Tortoise is. Poor kitten.
No.
She is confused by the setup, even though it happens almost every week. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to be a little quieter, and maybe you can't... Okay, good. That's great. It's suddenly better. Awesome. So... back to the spiel. Welcome. This is my stream, Ancient Gaming, where we play games with ancient studies content and I talk about it. You can find all previous streams and all other games I've streamed, as well as my other content like video essays and activism stuff over on my YouTube channel, Zilla's Athenaeum. Info is in the frame below. You're welcome to keep up with me. I'm at Zillable, just like I am here on Twitch. I'm also that on Blue Sky and on Mastodon. If you feel like you want to support this channel, like, subscribe, all those jazzy things. But you could also check some money at me in Patreon. Wouldn't hurt. I am accompanied by my wonderful partner Tortoise, who enjoys playing these sorts of games. Unfortunately, I do not. Tortoise has a bit of a cough today. There have been a lot of allergens in the air. So, with all that aside, let's get dangerous. So, if you are new to Hades 2 and don't mind being spoiled, I'm going to give you a quick rundown. We are playing Melinoe, the daughter of Hades and Persephone, whose family have been kidnapped by the Titan Kronos, also her grandfather, and also in this version the Titan of Time.
I had to try.
Melinoe is a witch and moon goddess, and here we are in the crossroads, ready for another run down to try and take on the Titan of Time, or maybe a run upwards towards Mount Olympus.
Of course, you are prepared to grant my dying wish.
Forgive my insolent spirit and name your price. I am prepared to do your bidding. Within reason, anyway.
This is our friend
Swear
Dora.
to me that you shall do my bidding now. Specifically,
I haven't worked out the dying wish part yet. Ask you to fetch my lover's bones? Something like that?
So, we have confirmation that this is short for Pandora. So this is the shade of Pandora, the one who is all gifted. So Pan, all, Doru, gift. Well, Doron, gift. Dora, plural. So, the idea is that when she was created, because she was created by the god Hephaestus out of mud and magic, she was imbued by every god with blessings and gifts. She was going to be the perfect wife, beautiful, dutiful, and curious. intellectually very interested in the world around her. And her story, of course, ends with her being gifted with a box containing all of the ills of men. Really, the original story says a jar, a sealed jar, and being told never to open it. And of course she does, because she's been made specifically to do so. So she takes the blame for what the gods had planned all along, and here we have a version of her who doesn't remember exactly what happened. Maybe there's some reasons for that.
Also, can I just say, fuck Hesiod?
Yeah, so that version of the story, the one that is best known, is written by Hesiod, insofar as there's Hesiod, but we think there might be. So that story is, I believe, in the Theogony, which is what the Gonos, the generations, the origin of the Theoi, the gods. So it talks about the origin of the universe, and everything starting from chaos and coming into being, and the first gods, Uranos the sky and Gaia the earth, bearing all of the titans and giants and monsters of the world, and then the children of the titans, the gods, the Theoi. And so there are lots of stories of generations of man, generations of gods.
I'll just clean this up.
And here we have Eris, the embodiment of strife, a daughter of Nyx the Knight.
I figured it out. All these visits topside. You're trying to get to Olympus. Come to the family's rescue. Put an end to the war up there, is that it?
Oh, I just go up there to gather fresh reagents, really. Moss, bits of bronze. Comes in handy. The Olympians are very good at taking care of themselves.
Sure they are. And they're too proud to ask for help. Just don't go ruining it for Ares when you're up there picking moss. He's on a real hot streak lately.
Sounds like you and the god of war are still pretty close. Been very busy lately, hasn't he?
Sure has.
So Eris, the embodiment of strife, is often paired with Ares, god of war, for obvious reasons. And in this version, very attached to the idea of all of the realms being in chaos. It's basically a holiday for her. She's having the best time of her existence. You can carry on while I chat.
The crossroads hide the plans and movements of the nightmare-bringing witch and her compatriots. But for how long?
For long enough.
Our wards are holding fast. Eris has returned to us, I trust you've seen. It was my dearest hope that leaving all her rubbish here would soon enough inspire her to pick it up, but alas. You stay away from her.
I thought perhaps you'd finally relieved her of her entry privileges. I won't let Eris turn this place into a sty for pigs, even if it means having to clean up after her myself.
There's no particular reason why Eris should be leaving rubbish around. It's not like the gods have to eat or excrete or anything, although they do, at least the former. So her leaving rubbish strewn around is probably just a part of her nature, causing some minor disruption, shall we say.
How she'd chortle could she see now the frustration on your face.
Precisely.
I know, ignoring things is seldom how one makes them go away, but when it comes to Ares, I fear it's our best shot.
A moment, goddess. With your Olympus-dwelling relatives assisting you, I've half a mind to ask you let them know I'm on your side, except not all of them love me.
Odysseus might have made himself a bit of a unnecessary thorn in Poseidon's side. A lot. Basically, the whole of the Odyssey
But
is
you're the
the
great
story of how
tactician,
Odysseus
Even
bragged
the gods
way
were
too
impressed with your
much, and
machinations in your glory days.
Poseidon decided to strike him down.
Lady Athena and others favored me, it's true, but your Uncle Poseidon, well, I got on his bad side, I believe. Maybe he's let it go after all this time, but that's a risk I'm not prepared to take, so keep quiet about me, would you?
Yeah, gods in Greek mythology don't tend to let much go, do they?
I hear you.
So, while Odysseus is Athena's favored hunting hound, as per Aeschylus, and yes, that uses the word kune, hunting hound, which is gendered female, and I don't think that's a dig at Odysseus at all. That's just the way that the
You really went up
the
there.
word
They
is.
could have called for somebody with
you know, I've
experience, but I
noticed
guess
something
I don't
interesting
deserve it as
about
much as I thought.
Indo-European gendered nouns, that cats are almost always a masculine noun, and dogs switch around a lot, which is very different from how we perceive it in our cultural genderings now, right? Because cats are sort of, if you don't think about it, you assume a cat is female and a dog is male. Hello, Nem. So
I'm needed there.
she's
as part of my
salty that
task.
she's not the person
Though
being
I must
tasked
miss
with
you on the surface.
fighting for Olympus.
So much suffering.
Justice doesn't matter anymore. The mortals had it coming. Maybe we all did.
I am actually really curious about how the mortals figure into this particular story, because you know, the first game was so
Don't
very
say that.
much internecine politics and family relationships, and this is much bigger,
Hail,
right?
Broker.
Like, we are out, like the mortal shades have been disrupted, they're no longer in the underworld, and
Appreciate the deal.
Kronos keeps talking about bringing a golden age to mortal kind and how they've suffered under the gods, but like it doesn't seem like he's doing anything for them either. But we don't actually meet any; they're all already dead. Like when we see humans, they're, well, with a few exceptions, they're either shades. Let's say they're shades, witches, who are usually some kind of demigod at least, or their bodies.
So you have reached the
Rotting.
limits of your grasp of the Arcana. Happens to everyone. Just need some more of that psyche, and soon you'll be grasping for more of them cards you got.
My connection to the dead. My connection to the past. And the altar is the conduit. Commander, are you able to draw from the Arcana yourself?
Well, used to be I could draw pretty good, but maybe not as good as the pictures on those cards.
You draw pictures, sir?
So in Greek, in ancient Greek at least, I don't know if they've specified more in modern Greek, it's not my specialty, but the word graphein, to write or draw, is the same word. You draw letters, you write images, it's the same thing.
But I feel like it wouldn't be the same as the word used to draw from, would it?
No, not to
Or
draw.
drawing down the moon.
No. That is related to the word drag, actually.
Above, a full moon flares, bestowing all her grace and power from beyond an earthly canopy of trees and soaring precipices which provide a pristine vantage point.
The crossroads between realms.
So, I'm trying to remember. My brain is mixing up a couple of different outcomes of the root. I think the Greek is trachein. The Latin is actually well. But yeah. So draw as in draw to or draw draw upon. It actually comes from the idea of dragging, moving something else. So we're going down before up?
Yeah, still need to get some more things. I did as much farming as I could, but...
Moonlight guides me.
Moonlight guides you to sunlight, apparently.
Mortals look to us for guidance and inspiration. They must be horrified by what they're seeing of late. Half of them seem to be against us now. Let's hope it's the other half that's left once all this is over.
So there are mortals, apparently, fighting in this war among the immortals. It's interesting that we never interact with them.
Right.
Is there something wrong with the stream?
Not even those with the power to enter the crossroads at will can entirely anticipate.
So,
which of
yeah,
the
let me
three
know if the
paths
stream is
shall be
actually
their
choppy
exit.
or if it's just my image that
I
is
still know
getting
the way.
weird.
No.
I don't know what to do about it because I don't know why it's that it's only on my end.
Good evening. The Titan Kronos. He is time itself. Thus, by his nature, we can never be entirely prepared for him. He seeks the downfall of Olympus. But how exactly, we still do not know.
Greek theology is actually very interesting in that gods are sometimes the embodied personification of their aspects and sometimes closer to personalities with realms of influence. Take Apollo, for instance. We were just looking at him. So, Apollo is not the embodiment of the sun, or of light, or of music, but all of those are his realms of influence. But at the same time, you do get sort of personifications like Thanatos, the embodiment of death, or in this one, Moros, the embodiment of doom. So it's an interesting duality, right? Like, if you kill Kronos, do you kill time itself? Is an interesting question, and would be with the conflation of Kronos and Chronos, would be an interesting question even for the Greeks, I think.
The Twilight Curse is
If
yours
you
to
kill
use.
the god of wine, do you destroy the knowledge of wine? I don't know. I don't think so.
What's she doing here?
Nemesis interfering with us.
In your meat. Got it? Now go on while I take care of things.
This is my task, not yours. And I'm disappointed with your dereliction of duty. Are you so desperate to prove you're superior to me?
You know, maybe I am. So how about this? Got some gold on you, right? Those wretches ought to swarm in any moment. Whoever takes more of them gets the other's coin.
So this is an
What do you say?
interesting twist that they have. In Hades 1, they had Thanatos come and have sort of death competitions with you. They didn't start out super friendly, but they at least were like straightforward. Nemesis here has so much writing on this tsundere attitude. Like, she's so resentful. And it's an interesting characterization of Nemesis, of like thinking about her as like an embodiment of revenge and justice and whatever, but thinking about her as sort of spiteful and jealous is an interesting twist. She feels that she deserves to be the one in charge of this important mission, and desert is very much a part of what Nemesis is, right?
Must it always be a wager with you? There are the winning if you shut up and fight. No.
So yeah, if you're watching along, if you can tell me if this stream is still doing okay. Like, it looks like it's back,
Got
but
you.
It's surprised
I'm not sure if there was an interruption or not.
You don't know anything about me. What are you thinking being this far from your post? In violation of Headmistress Hecate's direct orders.
How is it that Nemesis doesn't know Malinois in this story? If Malinois grew up in the Crossroads, right?
I'm thinking.
Is that
you
ever
have what it
explained
takes to take the
for us?
Titan down. I do.
Like, they were always
Now get out of here.
sparring against each other, but never really, like, interacting as friends. I think is what the backstory is. And that also Nemesis generally had the upper hand in their sparring.
Well, I'm sure she did, since Malinois was a kid. Some of the gods have childhood.
Ooh, I'm sorry. Trying to save Val some consternation.
Poor kitty.
As she gets around. Trying to get around the table that I've set up.
Well, now she's on her little heated mat, so maybe she'll...
Did she just...
Yeah, Nemesis also takes one of your entrances away if you don't leave fast enough.
Some bones.
Don't forget to dig. Get some seeds. Ooh, nightshade. Nightshade is so beautiful.
I guess.
Let's go say hi. It's always good to say hi to your friends,
One of those golden urns that I revealed.
even if your friends are giant semi-anthropomorphic spiders.
You seem distant, Arachne. Is everything alright? Is this about my aiding the Olympians?
Arachne is not a fan of the Olympians.
Wait, what do you mean you're aiding the Olympians? I thought you said it was the other way around. They're helping you.
Same difference, isn't it? A mutual exchange. Like a friendship. There must be reciprocity. But I know this puts you in a terrible position, and I would never take your support for granted.
Well, you may know all about the gods, more than I, but it seems you have a thing or two to learn still when it comes to friendship. Even a little old spider knows that. Now have a dress.
Arachne is, especially in the version of her myth written by Ovid, not a fan of the depredations of the gods. She's rather aware of how they mistreat mortals. And, really you'd think that if Kronos were offering such a golden aid for mankind, she might be more inclined to be on his side.
Maybe I should put these out.
That's so not a good thing.
Not a chance.
getting some controller drift. I need to
Birdie told me
look into
Doom
that.
himself showed up where you reside. While that bodes ill for you and perhaps for us all, at least he's quite the looker, isn't he?
Oh boy. Trust Aphrodite to focus on the important things. Not that Supergiant itself hasn't been a little bit on the nose with the design choices, shall we say?
This must be love.
Oh, right. I need to do these things.
Don't be frightened. See you in the crossroads.
Pacifying shades. Picking moly. Mining silver. I've heard people complain about the crafting elements in this. Of course, they very much appeal to me. My preferred style of game, so often revolving around resources and crafting.
Thank the fates.
Most of the ancient edifices that once housed the dead awaiting judgment within Erebus have since been taken by the woods or by decay.
So I'm
It
trying
must have been
to look at
magnificent.
the symbols on those pillars. Go back to them. I'm not quite sure what that is meant to look like. It's not a Greek letter.
Might be a stylized, like a theta with some extra stuff added to it.
Yeah, it could be for maybe Thanatos. But it's also reversed on some of the pillars, which is not impossible, of course. We do have plenty of writing. I've mentioned Boustrophedon before, where the Greeks didn't particularly pick a direction. They might go back and forth depending on what space they had for writing.
Just a small sip.
We have this moon shape. And
Oh, a white raven.
Greetings, little raven.
Beautiful. Ravens are so cool. Corax.
Flew off.
Corax is the word for crow or raven.
Caskets.
Of course. I've mentioned before that word is part of the phrasing for go to hell being escorates, crows, as in by the carrion after your death and not be buried. Because everybody winds up in Hades through most versions of myths. But where in Hades you wind up is partially determined by how you're cared for after death. Whether you're given the appropriate coin for passage across the river Styx by Charon,
We'll hew through
whether you're
anything.
burned at all, can have a big impact. Alas, short-lived
oh, help them.
Just watch your aim.
TV show. I've just lost the name. It was a really wonderful show. It had Jeff Goldblum as Zeus.
Oh, it was something with Chaos with a K? Is that it?
Yeah, something like that.
Barely got
Oh.
a shot in.
Good work.
had just like a
Hey,
really
is it really true Morris
interesting
himself
take
showed up at your
on
crossroads because you
what
summoned
happens
him?
to a soul not
As in
buried
you
properly.
literally invited doom?
Yeah, so
It doesn't seem the wisest course when you put it that way. Kronos once was brought low by a prophecy of the three fates. I felt they might be willing to intervene again.
And they did so by sending you the embodiment of misfortune and unforeseen consequences. Well, if that's what the fates have in store, you're going to need this.
So even the gods are a little disoriented by this tension between whether people are the embodiment of their realm of influence or they merely have sway over it. It's an interesting duality.
In the waters.
Let's have some fish. That little flash being fish. We caught a moper. Oh, I love the fish. These games, they're so silly.
What do you guess my professional associate does with all that?
Hi,
He
Hermes
still
the
does say a word. I think
tortoise.
he's just covering his tracks so crabs can't pin him down.
So even Hermes doesn't actually understand Charon, even though they work together. Both
And we're
being
off.
merchants of a kind.
Eris returned to the crossroads, my lord. Forgive me for speaking ill of one of your siblings, but I always fear the worst when she's around. Could she be working against us? If only she was more like you.
Return from
She'd make a
above.
less interesting conversationalist, I suppose.
Decided to take a break from all your recent outings to the surface, have you now?
There's much to be done, both above and below. You always say the greatest teacher is out there, but I always seem to find her here.
Oh, she is calling her the greatest teacher.
I taught you nothing of such flattery. One of
Ah,
Odysseus's
yes.
tricks, perhaps.
That does seem like an Odysseus
Let's
sort of
see
statement,
what
doesn't
others
it?
you have learned.
So it is interesting that Hecate disapproves so thoroughly of attempts to reach the surface. Which I suppose puts her on the side of the fates, but just an interesting sort of tidbit of where they have the alliances. Or not even alliances, so much as the
Once more with me, sister.
I do like that Hecate's torches have a crescent moon. To avoid the sheep curse.
How did that miss?
Good job. We are not sheep.
Like butterfly, sting like a sheep.
There's no particular association I mean, they're often sacrificed to various gods, and different animals would be sacrificed to different gods. Dogs were sacred to Hecate, for instance. And it was actually, I think, forbidden to sacrifice, for instance, a boar to Aphrodite, except on the Adenia.
And may the fates be generous to you in your descent.
But I really,
Yes.
like, you get a lot of associations between, like, you know, cow-eyed Hera,
My keepsake
right?
isn't doing any good.
I can't really think of anything with sheep.
I don't know what I want here. Let's
The
maybe
sheep.
we'll get
Call
Yes.
on Grandmama.
Closer to Tartarus.
There's that rancid scent.
Spouts are up.
So there are some other curses that happen to turn you into other things besides sheep, right?
You can get turned into a pig or a rat.
Domestic animals.
That's that.
Not the rat precisely, but very associated with the
Could have informed
edges
us.
of humanity.
Informed me, whilst you grew supple and strong in the witch's care. Yet knowing Hecate, she must have deemed the risk too great. I
Demeter is
understand.
not exactly best pleased about her
trying
family
to
not
understand.
telling her things. I think that's pretty fair, to be honest.
But at the same time, like, she wants to be controlling of
Your
her
choice.
daughter Persephone. In the way they tell it, that is part of the reason why.
Right,
Interesting.
and that is a common and somewhat problematic trope, right?
Let me show you the way.
Right, the romanticization of Hades and Persephone is a maybe not exclusively modern, but it's gotten very common. People want to take that potentially least problematic pairing among the gods, which is not saying much, and make it into a romance. And I'm not saying that I don't have versions of that I adore, because I absolutely do. But there's, you know, when that happens, there is the problem of who is, why are things happening, and who is the bad guy of the story, and most of it tends to fall on Demeter. Whereas in the Homeric hymn to Demeter, well, I mean, she's obviously not the bad guy, it's her hymn. The you know, the most classic, most canon version of the story, which, again, different versions, different places, but I don't think there are any retellings in antiquity that have Persephone going really down to Hades. She is kidnapped, and in the Homeric hymn, there's verbiage there that's very specific. Like there's this word about that describing her being snatched aekusa, against, unwillingly, is basically the best translation of that. Against her will.
I accept this gift.
As surface vermin flee from sinking
And her
vessels,
mother and
so
Hecate
have
searching
underworld vermin sought
everywhere for
darker
her.
reaches of their realm in the tumult of the times.
It's hard to be a rodent. Must be the chamber that my spell revealed.
Place of some peace down here in Okeanos.
Good find.
Some floating lotuses and
Hello.
what was that you picked up? Nettles?
No, Lotus.
Lotus. Yes, the pink things were those. There's something we dug up.
Oh, cattail.
Cattails. You know, I don't know where all in the world cattails grow. There are lots of different kinds of reeds that grow along the water lines in different places. Pirates.
Usually marsh. Gift.
Dear Goddess Hestia, I hope you will accept this offering. It's a pleasure to have met someone with your warmth, wisdom, and strength.
Well, look at you, making me offerings. Such hospitality.
Okay, so...
And while I throw most customs to the flames, the old exchange of gifts is one that I don't mind. So here, something from me.
Something from Great Auntie Hestia.
Oh, Hestia.
Yes. You should have seen it, dearie, when we brought old Kronos down. Took 6 of us at least, but we got him. Little wonder he's all sore about it still. We'll just have to dispose of him more thoroughly. Cremation, mayhaps.
So it does look like cattails do grow in Europe. There are other names for it. It's often called bulrush. Apparently, the scientific name for that type of plant is Tifa. I can't help but wonder if that is related to Python. We'll talk about it a bit, I suspect. Thought I spied a fish. Yes.
To me. I caught a chitin.
So
What do we have in here?
I don't precisely know how they imagine that being spelled. Chitin, of course, Chitin in English, is the hard shell of like it's a biological material you find in insect shells, primarily.
Coinage. In the name of Hades.
And chiton, often transliterated into English Chiton, just like the fish's name was, is actually the word for the sort of tunic garment that most ancient Greeks wore. So I wonder, with that little ruffle under the edges, whether it's a combination of both meanings, since it seemed to have an upper shell and a little ruffle.
I don't like to listen to her anymore.
And I know that there is some kind of marine animal, I don't remember whether it's like a fish or an invertebrate or what, that is called a tunicate.
Oh.
But
I'm not familiar with tunicate. Maybe I'll look it up while you're playing.
which may not be related at all.
That you don't listen to yourself explains a lot. I know better than to try and kill an Oceanid. I just need you to get out of my way.
Hear that, gals? I distinctly heard the lady say, I need you there. Oh, our art changes lives. What say we change this one right now?
Yeah, that does not look anything like the thing. Kind of related to hagfish. One thing that I wanted to point out in that dialogue there is Scylla was originally some kind of a sea nymph, daughter of Oceanus, or was it Nereus? I didn't remember which they said.
You said Oceanid.
Okay. And she was cursed into this form. Not that it looks all that different from potentially a sea nymph. But it is something of a story that Cersei cursed her to have this monstrous form. There's a wonderful book, Cersei by Madeline Miller, that goes that takes that particular angle and runs with it, but I think it's interesting. If you like this kind of talk, if you like adaptations of the readings, that might be a good book for y'all. Supergiant is so good at musical effects.
That's all the time we have.
Finally. Best get out before Scylla comes back.
Alright.
Do you want to grab the ember?
No, I need something for safety.
Time to dry off.
I love that Hestia's token is a burning coal, right? It's very fitting for her. Not that her design shows anything less, since she's wearing burning coals for earrings.
For moving fields.
But I do quite enjoy the idea of something directly from the hearth and something somewhat impossible as a token. Hestia.
Lie in
She's
ruin.
no longer Emily by choice. Is that just decor, that heart tree
Now my
object?
reward.
I don't know what you mean by the heart tree, but some of them are trees that when you break them spit out, thorns everywhere.
The sort of bulbous red tree object there.
I see several bulbous red things, so you're gonna have to be more specific once I'm not fighting these things.
Yes, you do seem somewhat occupied with the denizens of the morning fields. So,
Now.
Okay. Ow.
that there that you just passed.
This?
No, the other one.
That?
Yes.
I think that's a tree that, like I said, that like explodes or does something when you deal damage
I
to
believe
it.
there was one more object to pick up off to the right.
Oh, hey.
The path of stars.
Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot that I haven't been using magic, so
Flourish and reveal my path.
Unfortunately, I have an
Dash
effect.
versus people.
No, being close to people.
Ah. Well, that's right. That's, you know, reasonable for Aphrodite, right? Go
And that
say,
makes
"Don't
them
stand so
angry,
close
so
to
they-
me." Womp womp. A lot of whole hearts.
With
Vitality.
that. Okay.
Yeah, I can see why I was so convinced that this area was leading us to a more Christian worldview. Listen to that organ.
Where was I?
Where indeed were you? Where was I? I don't know. Did my stream stop again? I still haven't gotten any confirmation from anybody watching whether they can still see me. But at least we're recording. Gosh, I hope it's streaming. Yes, lycanthropes. Mika, wolf, anthros, a man, a person.
Excellent stuff. Could get going now.
There's something to mine over there.
That's rock.
Illuminate my path.
Let's have some higher quality hexing, shall we? Apollo or Aphrodite?
Who gives me more survivability here? I'm dead.
My blood is not for you.
This is the Spectre.
Phantom.
Phantom.
Predictable.
Oh right, I forgot I had the tooth.
Dead, but only slightly
I won't be gone for long. Olympus, I accept this message. I sense the elemental essences here now. Stronger.
The dead are as innumerable as the sprigs of wheat within the morning fields, but do not make for the most satisfying sustenance for the unspeakable monstrosities therein.
The dead have suffered enough.
So, the dead are being consumed by the monsters here?
Yeah, well,
Not
I think
exactly.
the phantom feeds on the dead, which is how it's able to heal.
I see. I don't really know of any myths of anything feeding on shades. But it's sort of close to something that's happening in chaos, right? The show we discussed the afterworld. And then of course there is
It's over.
the sort of more
I grow strong.
Christian concept of the soul and things that can take or destroy your soul. The shade is not exactly like the Christian concept of the soul. It's not entirely dissimilar either, it's just not the same. I was just watching a bit of Ludo History's stream before starting my own today. And we were talking about the danger of going too far either direction, of thinking that the experience of other people and other cultures and other times are too different from our own, or thinking that their categories were exactly the same. This applies both to language and use, right? Like, so sure, like, the Greek word, the ancient Greek word they use for, like, blue eyes is also the word they use that means sort of shiny. But that doesn't mean they didn't see blue, which is one of those talking points that you'll get sometimes. It's like, oh, the ancient Greeks didn't have a word for blue and they couldn't perceive it. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. Right? It's just different ways of categorizing things. People have always been people. People experience the same range of emotions, the same interpersonal types of interactions, the same desires and motivations all across history and prehistory, all throughout time and space. But the way that we talk about it can change what categories things are clumped together in. And I think that's sort of an important concept for understanding any other culture, whether the past or the present. Also, if you don't watch Ludo History, you should. If you like me, you'll love it.
Calm him down.
Oh yes, I know why I wrote that. I was talking about conception of the Greek conception of a shade. What's left after a person's body dies. And the difference between that and, let's say, like, psyche, soul is. You know, especially when it comes to Christian connotations, which is, they tend to have this more sort of like this spark of divinity, this piece of God. And it's not that that concept doesn't exist in those words. They'll talk sometimes about, like, a daimon, a personal spirit. But that's not exactly the same, right? Because you eat dead shoes. Sorry. Hi, Omnivore here. You know,
this isn't who you
in Christian theology, you tend to have sort of this idea of, like, the soul as sacred, the soul as coming from a source outside yourself, as something that you're sort of the caretaker of, and something that you can give away and can be destroyed, and something that without which, you might not owe even basic dignity to a person or creature or thing. There's a lot of Christian theology that is debating about the nature and extent of ensoulment, whereas everybody has a shade, and it's just kind of a remnant of who they were alive. If there is sort of a divinity, like a daimon, I mean, really, that's something that Socrates talks about and gets called blasphemous for. Following his own personal daimon, rather than the will of the gods at large. And the closest thing I can really think is not even Greek, it's Roman, which is the genius, the genius. So, each house has a genius, and you have a little altar to it, lattice in front of the house. And you have sort of your personal genius, which is figured as sort of a snake, a protective creature. A lot of red.
Now I release you.
It's a good thing knocking Cerberus about releases him instead of making it worse.
True form revealed. Infernal watchdog Cerberus regards the underworld princess with but the faintest glint of recognition in his 6 terrible eyes.
They don't seem so terrible to me.
Now calm yourself. It's only me. You're safe now. You're all right. You there? You're from Elysium.
Hello, little red shade. That is the one little red shade that in Hades 1 was cheering on Zagreus in the fight with the champions. Very cute to just have it there. A nice little touch.
So much dust.
But yeah, the ancient Greek afterlife also isn't a realm of punishment or of reward so much as it is just varying levels of comfort and awareness after you stop being alive. And I always come back to this one passage in the Odyssey where Odysseus meets Achilles, Shade, and Achilles says, "I would rather be the lowliest peasant alive underneath the sun
Did you perhaps
than a
forget
king
something when
here
last you
in Hades."
interfered?
So in some ways, this game is actually, at least this pair of games is actually very interestingly different than the Greek mythology in that particular light, right? Because many of the shades do go on to essentially have afterlives. We saw, the shades that take on more forms than just a blob. Oh, have we been down here before?
Well,
It can't be. Cerberus.
Another tormentor come to break me, or to try. And such a frail one at that. Has the Titan Lord a lack for decent help?
So I want to stop here and talk
You-
about his
Are you
design.
the master of this
This
beast?
is Hades,
The
the
master
Lord
of
of
this
the
beast.
Dead. Possibly
Well, I'm
the
to be
personification
remembered,
of the
I think, in
realm.
far worse ways than that.
He is, of course,
beast has yet
the
so
same
much
basic
snarling.
model as he was in the previous game. He has this really interesting crossed beard that is his symbol in these games. That's not a particularly Greek symbol that I know of, but it does replicate the way that they've designed his spear, which was often presented as bifurcated, a two-pronged spear. But here, as opposed to his divine vestments, he is deliberately in rags. His divinity is hidden beneath an undyed robe. He's got shackles and chains, and they're linked to chains around his belt, and you can see that there are hourglass designs in gold on all of those things, and the links are hourglass shaped as well, just in case you weren't sure who put him in this position. So he is chained in a way that a god cannot break, which is gotta be hard to do, but if anyone could, it would be a titan, right?
Lord Hades, you're my father. I'm Milinoi. I'm your daughter.
You can see, of course, that he has red eyes, with
Merciful
black
fates.
sclera,
You cannot
just like
be here. He shall find
Melinoi's
you. He'll find
left
you.
eye, I think, and Zagreus is right. His feet are also
Slowly
on
where
fire,
he
just like
stands.
hers.
He's in the area, is he not?
He's in my blasted house, where you were meant to be, and I. Look at me, daughter. I cannot confront him on my own. What do you expect shall happen?
I expect he'll underestimate me. Father, let me free you from these bonds.
No. No, that would bring greater ruin, nothing more. Now get out of this place. Then let me lend to you what strength I still possess.
So Hades is concerned about the Titan realizing he's been unchained. But we've never before gotten boons of Hades. This is new to this game.
I'll be back for you.
Don't be a fool.
The infernal beast that wrought such terror in the morning fields now sits there calmly and expectantly, not for the princess of the underworld, but someone else.
Stay back. Got it.
Cerberus does not know Illinois. She is not grow up around. It must be a bit of a shock, don't you think, to be Hades and be like, oh, this random grown woman is my daughter. That's a thing. He probably believed her either in stasis from Kronos or turned against him by Kronos.
I'll send you to your graves. Foolish.
I wonder what that can do. Their graves. They're already dead.
So close now.
One thing that always strikes me every time we get to this section is, those little busts of Kronos that are part of the decor look very much like there's this particular marble bust of Cicero. So Cicero was a Roman statesman at the end of the Republic, the turnover to empire. He was he was consul for a long time. He was he prevented a revolt that would have overtaken the city, and was subsequently disliked by the Roman people for executing the traitors that he caught, who were Roman citizens, instead of merely punishing or exiling them. And that sort of wavering political state made him vulnerable when Julius Caesar came and invaded and started to take power. And eventually he was killed by prescription, which is to say that he was put on a list of enemies of the state. So that she be dead. Caesar was an interesting fellow, honestly. He was a writer and a statesman above all else. He was very interested in being known as a writer and developing his literary skills. He published multiple groups of his own letters. He had a favorite publisher, a freedman of his own, to whom he was very loyal. He seemed to sincerely care about the state,
Could head straight to
even if
Kronos,
he
or-
was very vain and sometimes tried some things that maybe were not the best. He wrote an epic poem that was widely derided. We don't even have it because people hated it so much. I think we have pieces of it, as so often happens. Plenty to love here. I love the names of Hestia spoons. Yum, hot pot. Haven't had that in a while.
I can get one of these. Should have held off on my well purchase, or I would have been able to get both of these. Am I better off? I think I'm better off being at full health.
Gone all this way, my lord. May moonlight guide you.
Here in fathomless Tartarus, the god's cruel predecessor Kronos commands his renegade forces, maneuvering against Olympus whilst holding the underworld in his thrall.
Olympus can't get to him here. One way in.
I like the puff where it's obviously sand and not liquid.
Welcome, my girl. You slipped through my fingers before, only to return and give to me another opportunity to add you to my collection. Did Athena truly get all the wisdom in our family?
Your collection.
More or less.
You speak of your killer's objects to be put on display. The gods are to put you on display after cutting you to pieces, instead of discarding you like common filth.
You know, I'm still rather sore about all that. I truly thought my children would be different. That they would show their elders some respect.
Oh, the way you did Uranos,
And my
whom you
tolerance
castrated?
has its
I mean, at your mother's request, but still. One wonders how he raised his children, except, of course, Liam's dead.
Remember that, my son.
I do find it interesting that, as with Hades and Hades' children, Kronos has colored feet in his theme color. They're not flaming gold. He doesn't deign to touch the ground. Be gone, little Paul. like I was starting to talk about something.
What?
I feel like I was starting to talk about something and then got distracted. One thing I find interesting about his attacks is that he appears to open up breaks in reality in cosmos into chaos. Right? It's that same sort of spark of darkness that we see.
A lasting pain.
What is a lasting pain? Yeah, I don't think beginners can be cursed.
Prepare for more.
So close.
Not close at all.
This age grows soft in body and in mind.
Yeah, people have been saying that for as long as people. The youth are weak. These new technologies are rotting their brains.
Artemis.
Oh, is Artemis down here today?
Yeah, I can hear
Kronos
some.
underestimates me still, which means I have a real chance to vanquish him.
What up,
Ever
Dora?
think maybe we're just not cut out for this, Mel? Me with the haunting, you with the... What are you trying to do again?
Good question.
Find the Titan of Time. Punish him for his crimes against my family. Restore the rightful ruler of the underworld. Hey, you're cut out for haunting, Dora.
Oh, thanks. Just like I'm sure you're cut out for all that other stuff.
I'm not sure whether that's meant to be reassuring or mocking.
Let me see.
You've much to learn yet from that book.
I have to ask you something, Lord Moros. Though I think I may already have the answer. Has the war with Kronos and Olympus taken some new turn?
I'm sorry, I can't answer you, Princess. I'm bound never to speak of matters in connection to the weavings of the fates. If you knew more right now, it could unduly influence your path.
And knowledge is preparation. It seems strictly to our benefit for me to know as much as possible about what I'm getting myself into.
Perhaps.
Knowledge is power.
Nevertheless, I cannot break my oath. I trust, though, that you'll learn the truth of it when the time is right.
I'll be waiting. Artemis.
I see that look and know you must be going through a lot, Melinoi. But don't forget what we decided here.
We leave our worries at the threshold to this little clearing, yes. Though, don't you ever slip? Catch your mind drifting back to your concerns?
That's what the song is for. It doesn't make our troubles go away. It's so we can face them as best we can.
A meditative clearing.
Sing it.
I should go.
The sonorous voice of the goddess of the hunt fills the clearing like a ray of moonlight, stirring the eternal souls of shades that there reside.
She's not bad, is she?
I also can't think of anything particular about Artemis singing.
Each night,
but I'm
another
not complaining.
possibility.
It's lovely to have. And really, you would imagine that competitive as the Olympians are, that She might not want to sing anywhere around her twin brother, the god of music.
Kataski Onaski. So mote it be.
Right. Well, we should probably wrap up for the day.
Yeah, I thought I would have the resources needed for the incantation, but we never saw... We need to see chaos.
Ah. Well, perhaps next time. Thank you all so much for joining us. I hope that the stream has been going, but if not, thank you all so much for following along on the recording. It is, as always, a pleasure to have you here. And, hey, keep learning, friends. Have a good New Year's.